Hi guys, welcome back to Father and Son Investing. We're going to talk about Nanox and just follow up. I mentioned yesterday that I thought this was a make or break week for them, a chance to really make their case and drive home why their imaging is needed. It also could be a chance for them to break their company or at least set it back by not performing well at RSNA. Just what is RSNA? It is the Radiologic Society of North America, and they have a meeting every year the week after Thanksgiving that is the largest medical imaging conference in the world. 500 companies are there this year to demonstrate their products to medical imaging professionals, healthcare consultants, and hospital executives. Now, Nanox then is one of the presenters at this meeting, and they have a chance to really shine or not be so shiny. So today, from Shamir Hospital in Israel, they had a virtual presentation. The purpose of the presentation was to give a virtual overview of the Nanox Arc. For this video, I want to talk about what I thought they did well, what was a make, and what I thought they did not do well, or what was potentially a break. For ease of presentation, I'm just going to take it as they were presented in the video and give you my opinions. All right, first off, they started the video with the CEO of Shamir Medical Center, who is also a physician, talking about their collaboration with Nanox and also describing the importance of the hospital that she runs in the state of Israel. So I thought that this was good, that they had a medical professional introducing this and somebody who is a CEO of a large, well-respected medical facility. They went on to show some things about the Shamir Medical Center. In some ways, it felt like a little bit of an advertisement for Shamir, but that's okay because Shamir was willing to host this event. I found it interesting that they put a Nanox sign up in the hallway there in Shamir. It makes me wonder how much Nanox paid to have that sign put up. Now, after the CEO, they had their spokesperson come on. He actually was very professional. He was very good at speaking into a camera and reading a text, but I think they might have done better by choosing a medical professional here, particularly a radiologist or someone in the medical imaging field who could speak to the device as well as perform well on camera. Obviously, medical people are not necessarily designed or trained to function well in front of a camera, but there are plenty of them who can. I think they would have done well to pick somebody different. This gentleman, though, was very good at what he did. I thought that they did a good job of demonstrating the device itself, talking about the components and what the control room would look like. In particular, I thought they did a good job of showing how the device is actually run from a iPad-looking control device and how it doesn't look like it requires a lot of technical information or a lot of technical knowledge to be able to use the device itself. Not only that, but they demonstrated or talked about how the Nanox cloud will then generate the images and how, by being connected to the cloud, Nanox itself can keep track of the machine and perform updates to it as well as make sure that it's functioning properly. Now, they went on to demonstrate two of what they're calling new procedures. They're going to show a chest phantom and a pelvic phantom. Now, a phantom is just a mock-up of what a real human body part would look like. In this case, it's the pelvis. We can see here a femur bone, and you can see the pelvic bones here. So even though it's not a real human that they're scanning, they did a good job of at least demonstrating what it would look like for a chest to get scanned and what it would look like for a pelvis to get scanned. When it came to the interpretation of this phantom scan, they did themselves a win by getting Dr. Jeffrey Rubin, who is the chairman of the Department of Medical Imaging at the University of Arizona, to look at these images. Now, they would have done better had they connected his computer directly to a camera rather than just filming him looking at them on his iMac, which is not the way that we would look at images anyway. We would look at those on a diagnostic monitor. Nevertheless, it's a win because of Dr. Rubin's reputation. When it came to the diagnostic scan of the pelvis, they repeated the same mistake by just showing us the computer screen of the radiologist, although at least they did get it as a close-up so that we could actually see what the images look like. Now, here they also had something that I thought they should have done better, and that is letting us know exactly how this machine can be helpful in the imaging armamentarium. You know, there are much better imaging modalities out there, particularly CT and MRI. But the problem is that those machines are very, very expensive. And so in some places, there may be one machine that has a 3 or 4 week backlog or even more, because there are more patients than machines able to get them scanned in a timely fashion. Now, one thing that this modality, this tomosynthesis, could be used for is as a troubleshooting tool or a screening device to figure out who actually needs more advanced imaging. We can see here she's circling that lesion in the femur, and in this case it looks very obvious, but sometimes things are much smaller and one has to try to decide, is this real or not? And in the case of tomosynthesis, that may be able to help screen to decide whether a lesion is real, and then if the lesion is real, they could go on to CT and or MRI. So I think they could have tried to drive that point home better, because quite honestly, radiologists don't want to look at tomosynthesis images unless there is actually a need for it. Now, the process I just explained, using it as a screening tool, is done frequently throughout the world every day in mammography, where tomosynthesis scans are used to look at breast images to decide if something is real or not before it goes on to further imaging. The last part of their presentation focused on their Nanox AI strategic assets. Now remember that Nanox merged with Zebra Medical Vision earlier this year, and really these Nanox AI assets then are coming from Zebra Medical. Now Zebra already did have 8 FDA clearances, and there is one more that's in the works. After discussing how their artificial intelligence works and the vast library of imaging data that they have, they went on to discuss their emphasis on chest CT as a window to pathology. This provides an opportunity to detect chronic disease at an early phase and potentially to promote preventive health. Their AI is capable of detecting a lot of different disease within the chest, including heart disease, fatty liver. It's capable of detecting emphysema, and it's capable of detecting compression fractures, as well as the bone mineral density of a spine. Now, some of these things are approved within the United States, and others have the approval both within the United States and have the CE mark. I think they could have done a better job of emphasizing that their AI is capable of all of these things. They did go on to talk about heart disease in particular, but here again, I think they missed an opportunity. They did go on to describe this as a clinical assist tool, which could allow a radiologist to discover or detect something. What they didn't emphasize is that their computer increases detection rates. A radiologist may feel like, oh, I can look at these things myself, but if the data says that this is reported and detected more frequently using their artificial intelligence, well, then that may increase the use of their product. All right, what was my first impression of it? Again, as I stated, someone said it looked like an infomercial, and I agree. I think most of that had to do with the person that they had presenting the information. As I have gone back through the video now and looked at it a bit more, I do see that there were some areas that they have wins in there, which I described. There definitely were some things that they could have and should have done better. Just how has the stock market reacted to it? Well, you can see by this massive red line downwards that they were not impressed either. 12.5% down on the day, and that really started right after the presentation got started. Overall then, my overall take is they definitely didn't make their case, and they certainly have some fractures in here, maybe not completely broken, but they have some things to fix, and the stock price reflects that. I hope this information was helpful for you. If you saw other things in the video, feel free to leave some comments. If you have things you think I could have done better or should have done better, then please leave those comments as well. Am I buying more of it? I'm not necessarily buying more yet. The stock price may go down even lower. Please share this kind of information with a young person in your life. Make investing a family affair. And until next time, enjoy your investing.